Hi there, Dead-Eyed Boy here, back with another video, and this time we're jumping into Daily Race C. It's the Super Formulas, it's at Suzuka. We've done no practice, no qualifying, and we're going to just see how this goes from the back, which is probably the worst place to start. But the good news for you guys is it's the most chaotic place to start, and chaos there is. Now, you can see here, we've got A+ drivers up at the front, and we've got a kind of mix of A and some B drivers in amongst it, so it's bound to be chaos, isn't it? As we go from a standing start, waiting for the lights to go out, make sure you get your traction control on and handbrake on, release the handbrake, off we go, and avoid a 4-car pile-up. Absolute chaos there, absolute chaos. We'll watch that back in the replay at the end of the race, but somebody else was off on the left there, so we found ourselves gaining 6 positions in the space of a few hundred yards before we even got to turn 1. Insane stuff. Now, as we come round the S-bend here, you can see somebody's off on the left there, somebody's stopped in the middle of the track on the right there. We're now up 8 positions, and we've not even covered a quarter of a lap. But that is just these races in a nutshell. You can see how fast these cars are. You can see people weaving about all over the place. As somebody's off on the left, I can barely keep up with the amount of positions we're gaining here, and somebody else is off, and that is us up 10 positions in less than half a lap. Now, like I said, that is typical of one of these races where you've got quite a difference in probably skill levels of people driving. So if you're not used to these cars and the insane acceleration, downforce and braking on them, then you will struggle badly. Somebody's off in the right there. Nope, they just about kept it on the track there. But there's also, as you can see in the bottom right there, a boost button to help you overtake, basically the Gran Turismo 7 equivalent of DRS. And this is what Gran Turismo 7 gives us as our Formula 1 fix as we go down. It's a crazy dive bomb, but we're going to back out as we almost kill P2 there, and back out again because we almost killed P3 as well, but we managed to avoid them. We stayed on the right side of clean driving there, but we're under pressure now in P4 from the American driver behind us. But yeah, like I said, it's just insane how quick these cars can be as we fend off the attack from the car behind us there. We're just about keeping them at bay. Now, I went into this race, as I said, stone cold and just hoping for the best. I do enjoy the high downforce cars in Gran Turismo, so it kind of suits me, but it doesn't suit everyone. So if people are having a shot at this for the first time, they're going to get a fright, basically, if they've never driven the Super Formula cars round here. And yeah, it's a quite an insane experience. But talking about insane experiences, it's insane the amount of subscribers we've had recently, and we've managed to somehow tip over the 7,000 subscriber mark. So a huge thank you to everybody who helped push us over. Dare I say, the next big goal we've got is the 10,000 subscriber mark, and that is something that, to be honest with you, is a pipe dream. And well, if we ever get there, it will be a minor miracle, but you could help us by hitting that subscribe button, and you'll enjoy all the wonderful content along the way, as well as me driving into barriers for no apparent reason, which you just witnessed there on the left as I back out and let Shady through there because, well, yeah, he had to run on me after I lost a lot of speed. And I wasn't really confident where I was braking coming into the Casio triangle there. You can see how much time I lose coming out of it, and yeah, it took me a few laps to even sort of work that one out. But it's been a good start to the race, let's face it. We're on to lap 3 and we're up to P5 from P14, and we're still well in this race, so yeah, can't complain. But the title of the video was Gran Turismo has not given F1 a huge problem, because let's face it, these cars, they're not F1 cars, they're Super Formula cars. They're a different breed altogether. Now, that is something that is just a fact. As you see somebody going off on the right there and some yellow flags coming out. Somebody else is actually off, and I think it might actually be the leader, or the previous leader of the race, who is having some difficulties, and indeed it is. We're right on the tail of him now. But yeah, Gran Turismo 7, this Super Formula series is a series in its own right, a real life series, and it's not Formula 1, so it's not here to try and compete Formula 1 titles, and it's not here to try and give them a huge problem. So yeah, somebody else is smoking across the track there, and we've picked up another place. This is just insane, and this is one of the things, if you're not committed to these cars in terms of the way you drive them, you can lose the back end on these curbs and really give yourself massive issues. You can see there how easy it was for him to lose it in the back end there, but he's kept it pointing in the right direction. But we're basically up to P3 and into the podium places simply by keeping the car on the track and keep it out of trouble, and that is probably the biggest key to this race. If you can keep the car clean, you can avoid the curbs and just keep moving forward, then you will pick up positions, and that is crucial in this race, absolutely crucial. But yeah, it's not here, as I said, to give Formula 1, and honestly, it's just insane. People are just losing it everywhere, just as I was saying that. We're up to P2 now, incredibly, so we've picked up 12 positions and we're only on lap 4. Absolute madness. But yeah, it's not here to give Formula 1 a huge problem, because it's not Formula 1, and it never will be. It's a series in its own right, and, well, it's just here to be enjoyed on Gran Turismo, giving us something a little bit different. But we pop into the pits now for some fresh soft tyres. At the end of lap 9, into lap 10 now. Only a couple of laps to go. You can see the splits there. We're well behind the leader. He's not pitted yet, but we're well behind, but we're well clear of P3. So yeah, it was one of those races where after the madness of the first 3 or 4 laps, then it kind of settled down. We just sort of ran our own race with not really much happening, well, not really anything happening along the way after we got up into P2. So we were happy just to continue on, pick up the DR, try and get this account up to A+ without basically doing anything stupid in the last couple of laps. And I think that's basically, as I said, the key to this race. You just need to keep the car clean, keep it pointing in the right direction, and you'll make up positions and you'll gain DR. Now, what I would say is put a decent livery on your car though. I jumped into this and just rented the car, but if you've got the funds, buy the car, have a bit of fun with it, put on one of the F1 liveries if you like, try and make the race look authentic to F1 even though it's a Super Formula series. So yeah, it's just one of these races where it's a bit of fun, but if you take your DR and SR seriously, then maybe want to avoid, or maybe want to use another, a second account on just to protect that if you're, keen to protect it going into GT World Series races and things like that. But we're going to have a bit of fun with it this week, I think, and we'll see where we are at the end of it. We'll jump in and out of my American account, I think, a bit this week, just to try and get the ranking of it up a little bit, because I'm fairly comfortable in these cars and I do enjoy them. You can see here when you're coming round, I'll give you a quick lap guide in this. 3rd into 4th gear round turn 1. You're never dropping below 4th round here. Keeping it in 4th all the way, drop down into 3rd just to hug the curb. You don't want to drift wide, you want to hug that curb as much as possible before going on to 4th, then up to 5th, flat out. You can take this, you can take Diagonal 1 flat out if you're brave enough. I wasn't, but you need to drop right down here and make sure you don't run too wide there, because the curb on the left hand side there will end your race if you're not very careful. You've got to be careful round here as well when you're accelerating out. Don't want to lose the back end up to 3rd, so you don't get overly, too much fuel spin and end up killing yourself in 2nd gear. And as we come up to Spoon's notoriously difficult. You want to brake just at the path on the right hand side there, dropping it down to 3rd again, hugging the curb, accelerating out up to 4th, running over the curb there, no problems. Using all my boost now just to finish off the race, because that's quite a key strategy. If you can hang on to as much of your boost until the last few laps, then it'll give you all a little bit more ammunition to defend any position you're in. We didn't really need to defend, so we were just going for a quicker lap than we had been putting in. We weren't very quick, let's be honest with you, but we were quick enough. clean enough to finish P2, and over the line we go. That was actually our fastest lap of the race, the last lap, so it just goes to show you what you can do on some fresh tyres and a little bit of DRS. Now, if we look at the replay here, we'll see at the start of this race exactly what happened here. A 4-car pile-up. Now, how did that 4-car pile-up happen? Well, you're going to see it's because the guy, poor victim, well, a victim of his own doing, as he jumps the start and ends up just rolling off the line, and the cars behind didn't realise what was happening and just drove straight into him. That's when we really need a better ghosting system. Now, just focus on this guy. Poor guy. He manages to get the car going again, but he had a bit of a nightmare of a race, to be honest with you, because once he got the car going again, he managed to sort of plod round into lap 5 and then lost it again. And again, reverse gear is something he's having to use a bit of in this race, unfortunately for him. And then he had a little bit of a side-by-side when he eventually caught up with somebody, hits the wall, and then the damage means he's unable to turn the car properly, and off into the gravel he goes. But don't worry, he's back on track. Oh no, and I think you'll find reverse gear is required once more. So, poor guy, but, you know, I want to give him credit. He finished the race, so fair play for continuing on here. Now, this was an incident where we seen somebody going off on the left. Now, it looked like the car kind of drove over for some reason and just pushed him off, but this was why. It was the leader, an eventual race winner, who actually jumped the start and tried to get out of everybody's way, however just succeeded in pushing that unfortunate person off. Now, this guy got tagged and put into the wall, but lovely to see somebody actually stopping and waiting to let the person back onto the track and get back ahead. So brilliant to see, great sportsmanship from the Brazilian there, to let people take note of that. That is the right thing to do. Now, here's the leader here when he just had a comfortable lead, inexplicably getting on the curb and binning it, putting it in the wall, and yours truly caught right up with him then, and it must have been the pressure of having me behind him, because he just decided he didn't want to be part of the track anymore, and much preferred the gravel instead. But yeah, there you have it. That was the Super Formula Gran Turismo Formula 1. I say that with my tongue firmly in my cheek. That was the race, and it is chaos out there, but enjoy it. And if you did enjoy this video, then hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, helps me out massively if you do that. You can dream about 10,000 subscribers one of these days, and I'll see you all on the next one. Goodbye.